Before Sam's accident, life was really, really good for our family. I had a great job working from home that paid extremely well. No commute, I could set my own hours. It was sweet. Mike's busy season was tapering off so he could relax a little. My young son Eric was happy-go-lucky. School was going great, and he had just started his fall competitive swimming season. Eric was a state-ranked swimmer with high school and college swimming aspirations. He was practicing hard, and he looked strong. Sam was doing great. He was healthy, happy, and all his classes were going smoothly. For the first time, he got a college loan and was handling all his expenses by himself. He had big plans. He was going to finish his degree and join the Marines. He was grown up. Everything was going nice and smoothly. Like I said, life was good. Then all that changed. Our whole life shattered on November 6, 2011, when Mr. Aceves decided to drive drunk, take Sam's life in his hands. At about 4:40 in the morning on November 7th, we got the call that every parent fears more than anything else. Hi, Mrs. King. This is Sam's roommate, Jason. Sam's been in a terrible accident and is critical condition. No, hi, how you doing? Just a quick punch to the gut, devastating news. We put a call in immediately to the ICU unit in paste while we waited for them to call back. Sam's laundry list of injuries was absolutely horrifying. What was worse, though, was the trauma nurse telling us, yes, you should catch the first flight out, and yes, you should bring Sam's little brother with you. Those terrible words can only mean one thing. Sam might not make it. We hung up and went online to get tickets for the first flight out. On the way to the airport, we called and texted everyone we knew to start praying hard. We reluctantly turned off our cell phones when we boarded the plane, not knowing if Sam would still be alive when we landed. Can you imagine what that felt like? We were thousands of miles away, completely unable to help our son. It was worse than horrible, and things didn't get much better for a long while. We quickly learned the language of ICU care. We became adept at reading monitors and interpreting beeps and alarms. We would cringe when the brain monitor would skyrocket when Sam was in pain. We'd hold our breath when his blood pressure rose dangerously high. And we would go back to our room and we would cry when Sam wouldn't respond to the doctors again and again and again. Some of the worst moments in San Diego were when Sam postured for the first time. We were told previously that was a very bad sign of a serious brain injury. He postured a lot. Then there was the time the neurologist told us that Sam, the way Sam was then, in a coma, unresponsive, might be as good as it gets. I hated that doctor. We sent Eric home after 1 week so he could get back to school and a somewhat normal life. Spending every day at the hospital was taking a toll on him. It was horrible seeing him walk down the runway all by himself for his first solo flight. One of my children was in a hospital bed, fighting for his life. The other one I was sending away on a plane. And he was scared to fly by himself, but we had no other choice. I paced until I received the call that my baby arrived safely. Mike stayed until Sam's 3 main surgeries were complete, and then he had to get back to work so we didn't lose our benefits. And then I was on my own for the next 5 weeks. I spent Christmas and New Year's by myself and completely lost it when I had to watch the rapid response team rush to Sam's side when he was in danger of going into respiratory distress. I sobbed in the corridor on a stranger's shoulders. It took 2 months before Sam was medically stable enough to be able to be flown home. Back home, Eric was failing 4 of his classes. and wouldn't give us his Christmas list because he wanted us to save our money for Sam. He had to give up competitive swimming and jazz band because Mike couldn't get him to the practices. That used to be my job. Eric never complained though, even though he was emotionally battered by Sam's situation. When we finally did get Sam back home to the East Coast, his first rehab hospital was an hour away from home. The second rehab hospital was an hour and a half away. Nurses, aides, doctors, and therapists all told us that the patients who have heavy family involvement have far better outcomes, so we vowed to have someone with Sam every single day, and we did. That someone was me. I gave up my $100,000 plus a year job so I could be with Sam during his recovery. I would leave the house at 9 in the morning and not get home until 9 or 10 at night. Mike was working long hours and Eric was home alone, struggling but still not complaining. It was extremely hard for all of us, but Sam ever so slowly started to improve. He had to learn how to breathe again, to swallow, to eat, to speak, and to intentionally move all his limbs. He had 2 rounds of extremely painful Botox injections and many castings of his left arm and feet. When he finally was able to start talking in late January, he would say it over and over again, "Bad dream, wake up. Wake up, Sam." He actually wanted to die. He couldn't even cry at that point, but he told us he wanted to. His pain was so bad at times that he couldn't attend therapy or even eat. As Sam started talking more and more, we came to the horrible realization that Sam didn't know us. His long-term memory took a direct hit. He lost every single memory of his life before the accident. He doesn't remember any birthday, any holiday, or any family vacation. He doesn't remember going to high school or college. He can identify his friends and family members from pictures, but he has no memory of time spent with them. He didn't even know I was his mom. He has had to get reacquainted with everyone who was ever special to him. Sam's short-term memory was also affected. Early on, he couldn't tell you what he ate 5 minutes after he finished eating. He had to re-meet his therapist every single day. We had to continually reorient him to where he was and why he was there. His memory has improved some now, but he still has trouble holding on to facts and events. We put reminders on a whiteboard in his room daily to help him figure out what's scheduled for the day, and we constantly remind him. Before the accident, I would help Sam out by sliding him a few extra bucks when his funds got low, or I'd be his sounding board when times got tough. Now I help Sam by badgering, encouraging, cajoling, and even sometimes bullying him to try one more day. I assist him in and out of bed. I help him in the bathroom, and I give him his showers. I cook, cut, and serve his food for every meal. I drive him back and forth to therapy and doctor's appointments. I advocate for his rights with insurance agencies and medical professionals. It's a 24/7 job that is absolutely exhausting, but an honor to do. Sam has to work hard every single day to overcome his disabilities. Putting his socks on, buttoning a shirt, eating a meal, everything takes a lot of energy and time. We don't know what the future will hold for Sam. We hope that he will be able to walk normally at some point, be able to go back to school and make a life for himself. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. So far, he's not walking alone yet and still has memory and sustained attention problems. What we do know is that Sam's right leg will always ache. The doctors told us he will almost certainly get arthritis in his right hip, most likely by the time he's 40. At that time, he'll have to decide if he wants a hip replacement. He will have to get his baclofen pump refilled every 4 months. The battery in the unit will have to be replaced about every 7 years, and that has to be done surgically. And the entire unit has to be surgically replaced in about 18 years. But walking, school, driving, working, we just don't know. Mr. Cetus may ask for a lighter sentence so he can spend time raising his child and helping his family out financially. Perhaps he should have thought about that before he acted irresponsibly. He not only drove while intoxicated, he also drove way over the speed limit, flashing his lights and weaving through traffic. He was aggressive and he was arrogant. So what will Mr. Sivas do for Sam, for us? Will he help us out financially if we have to have Sam live with us for the rest of his life? I doubt it. His insurance company has already sent us an offer that will negate any other claims to Mr. Sivas himself in the future. Will he give up his job to drive Sam around and help him with his classes if he is ever able to return to San Diego? Unlikely. So all Mr. Sivas has offered is a letter of condolence, where very little apology was mentioned. The letter seemed to simply be a means for him to try to equate his position with Sam's. Sorry, but that's not enough by a long stretch. When Stephen Sivas decided to drive drunk, he dealt Sam a life sentence. There's no mercy from the court, no reduced sentence for Sam. No probation, no get-out-of-jail-free card. It is what it is. Sam got what he got. If life was fair, Mr. Sivas would have been the only person injured in the crash. But that obviously didn't happen. If life was fair, Mr. Sivas would get the same sentence he gave Sam. A life sentence. But that isn't possible. So what's left for Sam? Where's the justice? Sam needs to know that he is important, that what happened to him is unacceptable. The only thing left then is for Mr. Sivas to receive and serve the maximum sentence the state is allowed to pass. Will that make Sam heal any more completely or any quicker? Unfortunately, no. But it will send a message to Mr. Sivas and others like him that there are consequences for his actions, and he will not go unpunished. Thank you.